friends, this is Steve Rosati, aka Steve the Bass Guy with Bass Musician Magazine. On today's lesson, what we're going to do is we're going to take what we learned in our last lesson with really developing those fingers and getting some finger independence in the right hand, and we're going to apply it to some chord shapes with the left hand. So we're going to talk about 3 or 4 different chords that we're going to start to implement and practice and see if we can do a couple cool things with it. So today we're going to start out by taking this hand, and we were kind of running before, we were using kind of, doing tremolo, where we're taking those fingers and we're doing this. So today what we're going to do is we're going to use that technique to begin with, and we're going to start with what we call stacked fifths. So a stacked fifth is this sound of chord. So I'm doing there is I'm striking them all together. I'm going thumb 1, 2, and what I'm doing is I'm bringing my fingers out. Now I know this is sometimes something that gets misrepresented. It's like, what is a rest stroke? What is a free stroke? Have you ever heard that term before? A lot of people have not, and we just kind of know that we play and we either land our fingers on the strings behind or we don't. So a rest stroke is when you drag your finger across a string and it lands on a string behind, normally stopping the string that's behind it, so it's not going to ring. In this case, we want that string behind to ring because we're hitting all those strings at the same time. So what I'm doing is I'm closing my thumb and bringing these fingers together at the same time and pulling away from the bass. So what I'm doing is I'm going. So I'm bringing my fingers, I'm going like that, but I'm pulling it off the bass. So that's one way if I want all those strings to ring. Now I could go and arpeggiate those strings. And what I said about the stacked fifths is what I'm doing is I'm playing a fifth. So I'm going B to F sharp and F sharp to C sharp. Each one of those is a fifth away from each other. So the shape is that and that. And we use the word fifth because they're 5 notes away from each other. Whereas if I'm in B, B, C sharp, D, E, or D sharp, E, F sharp is 5 away, and then 5 away from the C sharp, from the F sharp. So with this stacked fifth, which is a really great sound, has a really nice sound. I love playing stacked fifths. And with the stacked fifth, what we have is we have a fifth, and the top note is actually, it's a ninth. Right? So we have a 9. We have a 9 right there. So, but in that element of stacking the fifths, we end up with a really nice sound. So it's a 5. So that chord really isn't major or minor, right? So it fits over almost any type of chord. I like to play those over dominants. They work really well over minors as well, but it doesn't really have a quality. So depending on what the chord is that I'm playing with, it will like Message in a Bottle. We hear it there, or you might hear it in a song like that, like Everlong. That stacked fifth is normally, we're hearing that in the guitar, but it's nice in the bass as well. So what I'm doing is I'm just using that technique that I worked on in the last lesson, was separating these fingers, making them work, doing stuff like that. I'm going thumb 1, 2, thumb 1, 2, thumb. So if I do Message in a Bottle, thumb 1, 2, 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 thumb. And I'm arpeggiating that triad. So I'm playing 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and I'm just doing stacked fifths. In this case, the stacked fifth I'm playing for Message in a Bottle is C sharp to the A, to the B, to the F sharp. And that's a great one to just practice on. Whenever I have a student that's learning to arpeggiate through that, I'm going to have them kind of just get comfortable playing that. And it's that triplet, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And that's a really good one to start with. So let's go back over that again. So we have the stacked fifth, and I'm starting off as C sharp, 5 and a 5. I go down to the A, 5 and a 5, to the B, 5 and 5, to the F sharp. Let's bring that in closer so you can see. Let's get real close. Okay, so we have it here. And then over here I have that. Good. So let's start with that one, so doing those stacked fifths. Now the other chord that I want to show you is major and minor. So there's a couple different ways to play a major and minor. In this case, what we're going to do is we're going to look at the G in the second octave, which is that first dot, just like it is in the lower string. Now, we're going to play a root, a third, and a seventh. So we're outlining the chord. So in this case, to play the minor, it's straight across the fret because what I'm doing is I'm turning the third into a tenth. It becomes a minor tenth. We talked about this a long time ago. There was a lesson in Bass Musician Magazine. It's up there. It's called Shell Voicings, where we're just looking at that interval right there. But what we want to do is we want to add in the seventh. So when I play the seventh, it's right here. So there's my root, my seventh, and my tenth, which is my third. So it's straight across that string. Now what I can do is, with the spacing, because I'm using these 4 strings, I'm opening it up. Now this works whether it's on a 4 string, a 5 string, or a 6 string, or whatever strings. You can move the shape around. This is a shape idea. So there is my third playing as a tenth right here on my G. My seventh is underneath. And what I do is I bring my middle finger on top and I play the G on the E string with that finger. Now to make this a dominant chord, what I'm going to do is where I'm playing right here where my pinky is, I'm going to place that, I'm going to make that third a major third, or a major tenth in this case, because it would be right there. I play it like that. This becomes a dominant chord. So my top voicing right there is my third and my seventh. And even if you decide that, hey, you know what, I'm not going to play the root note, I just want to play the third and the seventh, this is a really good thing to know how to do, is to play that third and seventh right there. So if I have that, I can move and play that low G and then slide up and hit that. Or I can just play it straight across. So that's my dominant like that. And I can do that arpeggiating just like I did before. And then if I want to make it a full major chord, I want to move my seventh up a half step again. So this is going to be across, I'm playing my G over here, but I'm playing now right there. That becomes a major seventh chord. See that? Okay, so let's go through those again. So the minor, it's going to be like that, straight across. I like to play that with I'm going to bar it with my ring finger like that. Then I bring my middle finger up over and play the G. I bring my pinky in on the G string, I move it up a half step. That becomes a seventh. And then what I can do is I can just do this, play the pinky and my ring finger there, and then play the G there. So now I have my minor, my dominant, and my major. Dominant's like that sound that we hear. It's kind of between the major and minor. It's like we hear it in blues, you know. And this is across 4 strings. There is also the option to do it across 3. And what we'll do is in the next lesson, we're going to go through, and we'll make this a 2-parter. So in the next lesson, we're going to go a little deeper, and we're going to talk about really getting each of those under our hands, because we started with that stacked fifth, and what we really want to do is we want to really build out on this, and I want you to know a couple different ways to do a voicing with that. All right, so this is Steve the Bass Guy with Bass Musician Magazine. If you enjoyed this content, make sure you smash that subscribe. And also remember to check back regularly for new videos that are coming out all the time. And if you're interested in studying with me, and I'd love to go further with you because there's only so much I can do in 5 to 10 minutes, check out Steve the Bass Guy at yahoo.com. And I would love to set up a lesson with you or answer some questions for you. All right, peace, love, and low notes out there. Be cool.